Okay, I'd like to call to order this Thursday, March 18th, 2021 meeting of the Springfield Historical Commission. Commissioners Walsh, Nardi, McFarland, Finn, and Kroll are present. In order to enable municipal government to continue its important work during the COVID-19 pandemic while assuring both city employees and citizens can satisfy CDC social distancing guidelines, the city of Springfield is providing public notice that it will conduct a public hearing utilizing remote technology. Copies of said petitions, text maps may be requested by email or phone and would be directed to the Office of Planning Economic Development at allen@springfieldcityhall.com or by calling 413-787-6020. To view the public hearing, it's on the Focus Springfield Community TV website. Public comment will be taken in two segments. First public comment period will take place prior to the meeting discussion. The second public comment period will take place after the meeting, will remain open for 24 hours after the meeting. To provide for public comment in writing, mail Springfield Historic Commission, 70 Tapley Street in Springfield, Mass. 01104, or email allen@springfieldcityhall.com. And to provide for public comment by voicemail, 413-750-3223. Messages received will be played at the Historic Commission hearing or at the continued hearing date. All commenters should state their name, address, and company or organizational affiliation in addition to the items their comment pertains to. Voice messages received 24 hours before the hearing will be put into the record during the public hearing, and comments after the meeting will be entered at the continued hearing date. Just for those, again, just technically, if this is your first hearing, no vote will be held because it will be continued to the next hearing date to allow for that public comment. Okay, let's go. So first up is 100 Marango Park. It's an application for a certificate of hardship to remove 13 current windows, install 13 new vinyl windows, no other changes. Going to white exterior due to brown exteriors being a 40% increase in price, and that's under the hardship guidelines. We had quite a bit of discussion about this already. I know I see Ms. Duplessis, you're here for that one, correct?
Yes, I'm here. Rich here, and the homeowners are here.
Okay. I don't see the homeowners on my screen. Okay. If we had some questions about how the window that was selected, which appeared to just be a straight vinyl window, how it could be possibly more compliant with our guidelines. Has there been any investigation of any potential changes to that window?
There's no way to change that window to do that. I have submitted some pictures of other historic places we put this in and letters from other historic places that have accepted this window, which you guys asked for last meeting.
Okay. So they didn't consider any other options. Hold on, I'll be right back. We'll look through this meeting. Okay, is there any commissioners that would like to ask any questions or continue? Any questions of the petitioners on this? Okay, Commissioner Finn, I know you did the site visit. Is there any other comments you would like to add to this? Nothing? You're muted.
My apologies. No, not anything in addition to what I've said in the past. If you need me to sort of restate that, I certainly can.
I would like you to, yes.
Okay, so the existing windows, storms excluded, are a dark color, a dark brown. For the most part, they are 1/1 double hungs. And they're looking to replace 13 of them, as you mentioned. The color itself, personally, was not a big concern for me because you really cannot tell that the windows are a dark color with the white storms. The white storms are pure white. My only concern was the type of window that they're proposing does not fall under our current guidelines.
Okay. All right, any other commissioners or anything that the homeowner would like to add?
Oh, not at this time.
Okay, thank you. Well, I'd entertain a motion to accept the application for certificate of hardship at 100 Marango Park for the replacement of the windows.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Commissioner McFarland, motion with Commissioner Kroll second. Any discussion on the motion? Yeah, I'll call the vote. Commissioner Kroll,
No.
Commissioner Finn,
No.
Commissioner McFarland,
No.
Commissioner Nardi,
Say again.
Commissioner Nardi.
I'm sorry, there was something going on wrong. The question again?
Well, this is on the vote on the application for certificate of hardship at 100 Marango Park.
Yes.
And Commissioner Walsh is no. That's Commissioner Walsh, no. Commissioner Nardi, yes. Commissioner McFarland, no. Commissioner Finn, no. And Commissioner Kroll, no. That application is denied under the hardship filing.
Can you guys just state a basic reason for the denial? I mean, I think it's probably implied, but just a statement.
If the type of window doesn't fit the guidelines of the historic district.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the next one on the is 57 School Street.
I have my PowerPoint up if you want me to show it again, or if it's just for a vote. I don't know what to do.
I'm not sure if we need it, but we would be happy. I'll ask if any commissioners would like to see it. But right now, I think I just would like to put it to you if there's anything else you'd like to add. I still have your stuff in front of us. And if there's any commissioners that have any further questions on your application for certificate of hardship to entirely fence in the premises, any other commissioners want to see that PowerPoint again?
It's only 4 slides.
I was going to say, if it's not too long, I'd like to see it.
Yeah, please.
Okay, all right. Why don't we put that up again?
Or actually 5 slides.
It's okay.
Slide. I don't. Okay, so let me see if I can make it a slideshow. I had it all set up, and now
It's okay. Just hit the little thing down the bottom there. It'll go to slideshow.
at the bottom.
What right there, or maybe the next one.
Okay. All right. So as you can see, this fence that's there to the left is already there. It's been there definitely over 11 years before we got there.
Yep.
And looking to attach a 6-foot tall fence to it, but then you will see that it gradually goes down, and then it's going to go down to about 4 feet. So another angle, and this is a fence, or I beg your pardon, a gate that you would, it's not that tall.
Yep.
And then the next one is where it connects on the School Street side. And it goes along there. And then you have, this is a taller fence, the 6-foot fence. But then you go and you see it goes back down to the 4. and then it connects to a fence that is our neighbor's. It's shorter than the neighbor's because the neighbor is about 6 foot tall, but you can see that it connects to the fence that's already there. And I think, yep, that's it. So it was 4 slides.
Yeah, that's good. No, just good refresher. Thank you very much. Any commissioners have any questions of Dr. Starnes? No? Okay. I'd entertain a motion to accept the application for certificate of hardship for 57 School Street to install the fence as just as presented to us just now.
Don't move.
Okay, second on that?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion on the motion?
Just want to state that there are no comments for this particular matter.
Thank you. We got to keep me on task with that one. No public commentary. Okay. Nothing else from commissioners? All right. I'll call the vote. Commissioner Kroll,
Yes.
Commissioner Finn,
Yes.
Commissioner McFarland,
Yes.
Commissioner Nardi,
Yes.
and Commissioner Walsh is yes. So we'll issue your application for you so you can put in your fence.
Thank you.
Okay, you're very welcome. Okay, the next we're going to new public hearings, so there will not be votes tonight. There will just be just this, our discussions. So the next one is It's 34 Sumner Avenue, an application for a certificate of appropriateness to see exactly where the description is. To add 4 parking spaces in front of the retail space at 34 Sumner Avenue. And they did, the proposed is disrupt 600 square feet of existing mulch bed and 186 square feet of existing hard concrete surface for the installation of 4 new 9 foot 6 inches by 20 foot parking spaces to supplement the existing parking for the benefit of the retail space that exists within the already constructed building. And there's a few other details there. Hopefully that it has been read. Whoever's speaking for the application, if you'd like to just tell us if there's anything else. Mr. Dodge, anything else we need to know?
Good evening, commission members. My name is Daniel Dodge, and I'm with NAI Plotkin at 1350 Main Street in Springfield, and I represent Sumner Place at Forest Park condominiums on this application. I do also have a very quick slide, 2 or 3 sheets that I would like to show the commission members and anyone that may be attending from the public, if I could share my screen.
Go right ahead.
If you can let me know when you can see it.
Yep. Well, it's coming. There you go. We got it.
Fantastic. Thank you. So the area that we are looking to do our work is right here is the front of the building, green space. The front of the retail space is this line here. So what we would like to do is disrupt this green space and this blue concrete hard area and construct 4 parking spaces. What we would do with those 4 parking spaces, seeing as we're disrupting this green space, is we would like to add some new landscaping area in the front. And I wanted to show the committee, this is the current view in the summer as grabbed from Google Maps. Mm-hmm. And you can see there's an ornamental fence flanking on both sides. And there are 2 trees, one to the left, one to the right. And then you have just some bushes and tall grass in the front. That's how it looks in the summertime, and this is how it looks. And again, I unfortunately, again, this worked to my benefit. It was a rainy, sad day. I'm not trying to paint a picture of, oh, look at how poor it looks. It worked to my benefit, but this is how it does look in the winter, and this is how it looks in the summer. So you can see with full trees in full bloom, there are some gaps. And in the wintertime, the trees and everything, as expected, would go dormant. So you end up with the trees in the front. This is the ornamental fence on both sides. You have one at the left side, one at the right side. We are proposing just to move that forward closer to Sumner Avenue. So this here, there we go. This here is our landscaped area that we are proposing. So now with new parking spaces here, this will be a new hard area. So when you pull your car in, this concrete wheel stop is 2 feet off. So you can get off, unload to this concrete area and go to the building front. So these two, what were designated by the landscape architect as M1, is some tall grass. This cluster here, which are IK5s, are the low bushes which are there. But as you can see in the layout, they're closer together. These two items, CH, you have one on each side. Those are taller trees. And then on both ends, we have 2 rose bushes. And then at the very end, we have flowers. So this area is going to be a little tighter. In that landscape fence, I need to point out that landscape fence that's there, the decorative wrought iron fence. And thank you for being patient with me on this.
No, take your time. We're good.
Right now, it's horizontal. It's on an angle, and then it does have a third vertical leg. In order for us to put these 4 spaces in, we will be eliminating the vertical leg. We are not disposing of it. We're talking internally about maybe attaching it across the front so you still have the 3 sections. So I wanted to show you that view on here. And then I included the bushes across the front, which match what exists now, just tighter. Then it flanks these taller trees, again, tighter in that. And the reason why we did this, obviously, is to, 1, maintain the landscape buffer. We're maintaining the existing wrought iron fence, but also being that there are going to be cars up front, we wanted to mitigate any concern that there is any light that would be shed out, because you can't see it during the daytime. It's during the evenings. And yes, we do have a school across the street, but the concern is always, as cars are pulling in and out, anything that shines out to the street. So this will mitigate any glare from the vehicles going out to the street. Then you have the flowers and the rose bushes and the tall grass at the ends. So that is my presentation, and I'm happy to email that to Mr. Allen so he can distribute that as needed. I didn't want to send it earlier because it was important for me to present it to the board how we see it. So that's
Okay.
my.
Yeah, if you could just do that.
And thank you for letting me share
the
that.
record.
No, perfect. Thank you very much for that presentation. Any commissioners have any
Robert.
questions?
I will email that to Mr. Allen. Thank you.
I have a
Thank
question.
you.
Go ahead, Commissioner Nardi. Go ahead.
Dan, how wide is that new plant bed?
All right, the new planting bed is, we've had some dimensions put there. Hold on a minute. being that the front of the building is not necessarily parallel with the street, it's 5'6" on the left side. Now, mind you, 5'6" is the planting bed. You see that buffer? It's still grass or mulch here.
Yeah.
But to go back of curb to edge of planting bed, this area here is 5'6" to the left as you're looking at the front, 7'6" to the right. I apologize. I sincerely apologize. I want to 5'6" to the left, 7'6" to the right.
Okay, I understood what you were saying. Thank you.
Any other commissioners?
I have a question. How much closer are the planting beds to the sidewalk than they are today?
No change. Right now, the existing planter abuts the sidewalk as it is right now.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions from commissioners? We have already had public commentary submitted to us. I'm going to enter that into the record now. And then I'll entertain after that, I'll entertain a motion to continue. So the first one is
Commissioner Walsh, I just want to add, we do have a recording as well. So once you finish the reading of those particular comments, I'll play the recording.
Play the recording? Okay, good. All right, first one is from the Forest Park Civic Association. It's addressed to me. Dear Mr. Walsh, Forest Park Civic Association met on March 9th, 2021 to hear a proposal for a walk-in medical clinic at 34 Sumner Avenue. The FPCA would like to convey our concerns with such proposal. The FPCA is concerned with the proposal to remove relocation, the front greenery and fence to accommodate for an extra 4 parking spaces. This property is part of the Forest Park Historic District, and such action may create an unwanted precedent for other locations to add parking in front of their property, seriously hampering the fresh simplicity and character the Forest Park offers. Furthermore, the addition of 4 parking spaces as proposed will inevitably create a traffic congestion in a small, tight area, creating a traffic safety hazard. We urge the Historic Commission not to approve the removal / relocation of the front greenery and fence. Thank you for your time and service. Sincerely, Victor Davila, President of the Forest Park Civic Association. Second one is concerned citizens for Springfield. Dear Mr. Walsh, please consider this letter of objection to the proposal allowing 4 parking spaces in the front of the property at 34 Sumner Avenue. Concerned citizens has a 25-year history of actively working for the betterment of the Forest Park neighborhood. We have worked cooperatively with the city of Springfield to maintain and improve a wide variety of projects, including the reclaiming of the Long Hill Gardens apartment complex, which is close by to 34 Sumner Avenue. We have supported the Forest Park Heights Historic District, continue to do so. We understand the desire of the management of the condominium complex to increase parking at the front of the complex, but we cannot support this plan for several reasons. This section of Sumner Avenue is very heavily traveled, and during beginning and ending school hours, it's almost impassable due to excess volume. In addition, the already difficult parking situation in front of the abutting apartments adds to the congestion. The neighborhood takes pride in the fact that Sumner Avenue from Long Hill Street east to the X is more residential in 2021 than it was in the 70s. This did not happen by accident, but by the maintenance of the streetscape, which does not allow parking in front of any building. Plays a role in a visual actual, building plays a large role in the visual and actual accomplishment of this. To allow parking in front of any building in this area of Sumner Avenue would serve as a dangerous precedent for any future requests, as there are several properties which might see this as a solution to their limited parking situation. Thank you for consideration. If you wish any further information, you may reach me at 413-788-6535. Afternoons. Sincerely, Patricia B. Triggs, President. And just for those here, just any commentary for or against has to be in within the next 24 hours to be considered at the next meeting. Go ahead and play, Alvin, if you can play the one recorded.
We had another letter as well. I don't know if I didn't put that in the.
Let me look.
From Jane Hetzel. If you don't have it, I'll read it aloud.
I don't appear to have it here. No.
Okay, so this is from Miss Jane Hetzel, 47 Bellevue Avenue. Regarding the petition to the Historic Commission for change at 34 Sumner Avenue, here are my thoughts. When this building was planned and built, I assumed the landscaping in the front of the building was part of the plan. The plantings and the fence enhanced the look of the property and therefore the neighborhood. Removing the fence and plantings for parking would drastically change the property and not for the best. As far as I know, there is no parking in front of any property along Sumner Avenue. Allowing parking in front of this building would set a precedence. What is to stop others of apartment buildings in this area to make similar requests? I hope that the commission will take into consideration that most of Sumner Avenue is part of a residential neighborhood. Less landscaping and more cement does not add to the historic aesthetic of our neighborhood. Thank you.
Okay.
Now I'll play the recording. Just let me know if you can hear it.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Ann Clifford. I live at 34 Sumner Avenue. I own a condo at Sumner Place, and I understand that we have a kind of a flower garden out in front of our building on Sumner, and I heard that it was going to be taken out to expand our parking lot, and just calling to let you know my preference, that I prefer that the garden stay as is. Thank you very much.
That's all the public commentary so far?
Did you guys hear the audio from Miss Ann Clifford?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah, thank you. Any commissioners have any other questions of the petitioner?
Can I speak, Commissioner? My name is Dave Napolitan. I also work at NAI Block, and I am the property manager for the building. I would say, listening to some of those comments, I think there is a misunderstanding that we're taking out and eliminating landscaping. Yes, while the existing landscaping is being taken out, it is being replaced, and additional screening is being provided. That was an important part, I think, of our plan to actually beef up the landscaping so that the visibility from the road was more blocked, and the picture in front of the building was of landscaping, not vehicles. So I would ask the commissioners to understand what the intent was as it relates to landscaping. This is viewed, at least from a number of owners in the association, as a positive thing. And I would say that the objection to a walk-in clinic, this request is independent of what the tenant might be in the retail.
No, this hearing has nothing to do with that. What the people might be, or if there's an objection to the clinic, that actually doesn't. It's not our purview, and we can't really discuss it here.
Yeah. I just wanted to make.
I just want to make it clear that, well, I do understand what you're saying. In fact, I think Mr. Dodge did make it clear that you are trying to replace have some kind of block out front. But anything past that discussion, we can't have here.
Sure.
I do appreciate the comments. I would like to ask Attorney Shuchuk just to check. While I do believe that this does fall under the purview, that the application itself falls under the purview of the Historic Commission, I wouldn't mind a second opinion on that, Attorney Shuchuk. So that's just for the record as well. I wouldn't mind, to take a look at I believe it does belong here, but let's just double check that as well.
Thank you, Mr. Wells. Thank you.
Are there any other questions from commissioners?
Well, I had a statement. I just wanted to say that part of the role of the commission is to protect the street vista. That is, one of the things that is within our purview. So just kind of food for thought.
Brian, I apologize. I didn't get the first part of that statement. If you could just repeat it.
I said that part of the role of the commission is to protect street vista in the local historic districts.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. I agree, but there are some questions about parking lots and roads and things like that. So let's just get a correct opinion. Let's just get an opinion on that anyways, just to make sure we're covering all our bases. And in the meantime, I'd entertain, since there are no more comments or whatever, I'd entertain a motion to continue the application for certificate of appropriateness at 34 Sumner Avenue to the April 1st commission meeting.
So moved.
Okay, I moved in a second.
Second.
Thank you. Commissioner Kroll,
Yes.
Commissioner Finn,
Yes.
Commissioner McFarland,
Yes.
Commissioner Nardi,
Yes.
and Commissioner Walsh. So this has been voted to, we'll continue to the next meeting. And any other commentary for or against, we will present at that meeting. And then we will take, that's when the vote will take place.
Thank you very much, Commissioners. Mr.
Thank you,
Allen, the
gentlemen.
document is in your email for distribution. I appreciate everyone's time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Dudge. Okay, next. Is the continued application for certificate of appropriateness at 272 Bridge Street to install one set of, hold on. Actually, no, I'm sorry about that. I thought it was continued, and this is the first application for certificate of appropriateness, 272 Bridge Street. Install one set of 22 by 145 non-illuminated dimensional letters in fabricated aluminum raceway, finished same color as the facade. So here, who's here speaking for Berkshire Bank?
Good evening. My name is Chad Bulletin. I'm from Graphic Impact Signs, and we are the sign company for Berkshire Bank.
Okay, go ahead. Fill us in.
So they're looking to open one of their new ventures called Revix Labs, which is kind of like an open study workplace. And they're looking to just have the set of non-illuminated, dimensional letters installed there onto the raceway above at 22 inches high by 145 inches wide. Originally, we were looking to do an illuminated set of letters there, but we thought that maybe the non-illuminated letters would go better with the intent of the neighborhood. So we kind of went to our client, advising of that, and took that option away out of the application and went back to the non-illuminated portion. So we're kind of keeping the intent of looking kind of a classy look, but also keeping the neighborhood in mind while we're doing so.
So that rendering you have is that the colors? I mean, is that what it's going to be? Oh, that's the rendering. That's an accurate rendering is what we're looking at here.
Yeah, that rendering should be accurate. And the raceway underneath that says powered by Berkshire Bank. We're going to be getting a color match to the mullion that's currently there, and that raceway will finish the exact same color. So it will just blend in as if that were the sign band.
Okay. All right. Do we have Alvin, we don't have any other pictures, like a current picture of the front of the facade of that building?
No, I can see if I can pull it up on Google and screen share.
Yeah, if you can. I wouldn't mind seeing that. I mean, do any commissioners have questions of the applicant? Let's give Alvin a chance to. Just to see if we can get a general look at the whole front of the building.
I apologize. We normally do an existing photo down in the or current condition photo, just so we can have that already presented.
Yeah, well, we have the picture from 19.
Oh, no, I don't think that's correct.
19. I guess they usually put dates on these photos. It doesn't have it on this one, but oh, that's what it looked like when they did the last streetscape, huh?
Yes, I don't believe it. I think they took the scaffolding down, so.
That's okay. Yeah, so there's nothing, this is not, it doesn't look like it's going to be a dramatically different thing. So there's really nothing prevalent there as it is. So, okay. All right. Well, that's okay. I don't need to see that so much anymore. Any other comments or questions from commissioners or the petitioner? No, then I'll entertain a motion to continue 272 Bridge Street till the April 1st meeting.
And just to clarify, we don't have any comments for this particular matter.
Thank you. No commentary yet.
Do you guys want a current picture from Mr. Bulletin?
I'll say I can get that and submit that to you, Alvin, if that would work.
All right.
I mean, I wouldn't mind having it for the record.
Yep, we'll do.
So if I could get that motion, it'd be great.
So moved.
Okay, motion to continue, second.
Second.
Okay, any discussion on the motion? Hearing none. Commissioner Kroll,
Yes.
Commissioner Finn,
Yes.
Commissioner McFarland,
Yes.
Commissioner Nardi,
Yes.
and Commissioner Walsh. So that's continued to April 1st.
Thank you guys and have a good night.
Okay, you too. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, next. Juggle my paperwork a little bit. Oops, okay. Okay, next on the list is 135 Westminster. An application for certificate of appropriateness to install a new entry door, no structural change. Jose and Caroline Rivera, are the petitioners on? Is there someone here to speak for?
I'm here, Chris Minnie with Lowe's Home Improvement at 1560 Boston Road, Springfield.
Okay. We have they had given permission in the past, right, Alvin? I don't see it here, but it must be in here somewhere.
They did give a letter. I thought
Yeah, it must be here. There's a lot of papers in that file. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, this is our third or fourth shot at the door, and I just came into work, and that was the next one that she bought. So
okay.
That's it.
So this is now just with us.
Yeah, just a plain glass window. That's it. Nothing fancy to it.
Okay.
She plans on painting it too. I forgot what color she said though.
Any commissioners have any questions on this?
The only question I had was color.
I'll ask her again. She told me the other day. I just forgot. I think it's going to be a dark color if I remember. Maybe brown. I can't remember. But I'll email her and I'll send it back to Mr. Allen.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be important. Thank you.
Any other questions or anything else, Chris? I guess
You just email that picture to Alvin if he doesn't have it.
I mean, it's pretty straightforward, the door.
Yeah, it's for the record.
We do have one. Oh, I see. That's the very top thing. Okay. I found the paper that says Chris can speak tonight. Well, that's good. It was in here. No other questions from commissioners or nothing else to add? Okay, then I'll entertain a motion to continue the 135 Westminster to the April 1st meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Second. Okay, any discussion on the motion?
Just
Hearing
want to
none.
clarify that we did not receive any comments for this matter.
Thank you. To the vote, Commissioner Kroll,
Yes.
Commissioner Finn,
Yes.
Commissioner McFarland,
Yes.
Commissioner Nardi,
Yes.
and Commissioner Walsh, yes. So that 135 is continued to the April 1st.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Okay, nothing on the preservation. Okay, we have other matters properly before. Let's see what this first. And Alvin, make sure you help me out here. This is Florentine Gardens, intersection of Florentine Gardens and Spruceland Street, request for CPA funds for restoration of public terrace. So we have to determine if it's a historical determination, and then send a letter to
So for all of these matters under Community Preservation Act, Historic Determination Project Review, again, you guys are just going to make a determination as to whether or not these particular parcels of land are if you would deem them historically significant.
Yeah.
And then also you would listen to the project and then give a, I guess, a approval of the project.
Okay. We need to be looking for a letter of support for the project.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. So, Ms. Walsh, would you like to tell us about this?
Sure. Thank you for having me, Commission. My name is Laura Walsh. I'm the Senior Parks Project Manager with the Department of Parks, Building, and Recreation Management for the City of Springfield. The Florentine Gardens Terrace is located on the intersection of Florentine Gardens, Spruceland Avenue, and Cherryvale in the Cozy Corner section of the Forest Park Heights neighborhood. So it is within the Forest Park Heights Historic District. So that's why we're coming to you today. And this project has been brought forward to the department by neighborhood residents asking for help to apply for CPA funding to make some improvements and restoration efforts at the terrace. In looking into this, sorry if I refer to it as the circle, but I grew up just around the corner from here and everyone in the neighborhood calls it the circle. So I apologize in advance if I slip into that language. But the Florentine Gardens was established when the neighborhood was developed in the 1890s. It was designed to be a 3-tiered floral garden with a fountain on top of that. The original fountain, which was removed because of deterioration in the 1940s, was 25 feet high. So you can just imagine this beautifully 3-tiered garden with this elegant fountain. At this point, the application that we are applying for CPA fundings is to develop a design and master plan to restore the area, and then also some construction costs to get started on fixing the drainage, electrical. And there's a iron fencing around the fountain area, so we'd be looking to restore that fence. It's in good condition. It just needs to be painted and de-rusted. So looking at that, I don't know at this point. I don't think a 25-foot fountain with 3 tiers of gardens is the exact need for what the neighborhood would be able to carry at this point. But also, we want to reflect things that we can maintain. I think that as nice as it would be to have that enormous fountain, I don't think that that's something the city can maintain. So we're looking for the design to reflect the intention of the garden, but have it be designed at a scale that is appropriate for today's standards and today's needs. And that design would be developed as part of our CPA application. And then in keeping with all historic properties, making sure that they follow all the standards for restoring that property. So we're very excited that the neighborhood has brought this to our attention, and we're happy to help them with their application.
Okay, thank you very much. Any commissioners have any questions? I do believe it falls under the historic significance. So if anybody else has any suggestions, whether it does or doesn't, certainly let us know right now. No? No more discussion? And then I would I would entertain a motion to that of determination that we do consider it historically significant.
So moved.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Nardi. Is there a second on that motion?
Second.
Any discussion? So I was doing this in two motions, one that we determine is significant, and the second motion will be to support the letter of support, if that's okay. So no discussion on the motion. So I'll call the roll. Commissioner Kroll?
Yes.
Commissioner Finn?
Yes.
Commissioner McFarland?
Yes.
Commissioner Nardi?
Yes.
And Commissioner Walsh is yes, that we do believe it's historically significant. I would entertain a motion that we send a letter in support of the project to the historic district, to the getting a letter here.
Community Preservation Committee.
CPC.
All right, thanks.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, so any discussion on that motion? Okay, so Commissioner Kroll?
Yes.
Commissioner Finn?
Yes.
Commissioner McFarland?
Yes.
Commissioner Nardi?
Yes.
Thank you. And Commissioner Walsh. Okay. We'll take care of that one for tonight.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Very exciting.
Okay.
The next one is also a park department project, so.
Okay, then let me get my copy of what we're looking at. Go right ahead.
Okay, so the second application before you from the department is Cottage Hill Park, which is located at 130 Oak Street in Indian Orchard. And this park was, I looked it up on the state register. It has been inventoried, but it has not gone further than that. So one of the things we were hoping for is to have the commission review, see if they find that it is historically appropriate, and then we can move forward with a historic application to the CPA for funding. This project was brought forth to us again by a neighborhood resident who lives on the terrace and asking the park department to help with an application to restore the area. It's about 3 acres, a little over 3 acres of land. And it was originally owned by the Indian Orchard Mill Company, I believe, and they developed this land, these parcels, to have open space for their workers. And then they gifted the land to the city in 1901. In 1904, the park department added the walkways and some granite curbing. And then there's beautiful mature trees that are in there. It's a really great parcel, and we're looking to put in an application to, again, put together a master plan to restore the area, adding in some landscaping. There is a horse trough that is there. We'd like to make sure that that's a focal point with some gardening and things there, and also a historic sign explaining how this parcel came to be and how the Indian Orchard neighborhood was kind of formed around it. To let people know that at this space, why it's there. So hopefully the commission is in support of that, and we will get working on our application.
Okay, any questions from commissioners? Well, I guess the determination is is it historically significant? Any opinions, commissioners?
And that significance can come from either building design. Obviously, for this park, there's no particular structure, but it also the history of the lot.
Right.
I would say so.
Yep, I agree. I'm just trying to get some other opinions out there.
I agree too. When you step back with bird's eye view.
Right. I mean, these have been there a long time, which makes them significant to the neighborhood, which is, you know, the preservation would be considered historically significant, in my opinion. So I'm glad that we're there. Anyway, I'd entertain a motion to for the historic significance. And then if somebody'd like to make that motion.
So moved.
Is there a second on the motion?
Second.
Of the historical determination? Okay, any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, let me call it roll. Commissioner Kroll?
Yes.
Commissioner Finn?
Yes.
Commissioner McFarland?
Yes.
Commissioner Nardi?
Yes.
Commissioner Walsh? Yes. So that passes for the historical part, and then I would entertain a motion that we send a letter of support for the project.
So moved.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you. Let me call the vote. Commissioner Kroll?
Yes.
Commissioner Finn?
Yes.
Commissioner McFarland?
Yes.
Commissioner Nardi?
Yes.
Commissioner Walsh is yes. Okay, that takes care of two. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Laura?
No, I did. If you don't mind, I meant to tell you that in the 1903 annual report of the Park Commission, this space was described as a pretty breathing space in the city's easterly ward. So we're looking forward to restoring it to that intent, and we thank you very much for your support.
Okay. Thank
Have
you.
a great rest of your meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Next on the agenda. This is the 32 Byers Street, Newport Terrace, 76 Byers Street, and 8488 Byers Street requested CPA funds for the rehabilitation of each structure. I have a couple of emails here. Is anybody here to speak on that?
Hi, Jim Linfield with project manager with Wayfinders.
Okay, go ahead, Jim.
I have been before the board earlier, or I guess in the latter part of last year for the Rainville, which is the 3234 Byers. And prior to that, my predecessor was before the board for the Newport Terrace Apartments located at 66, 68, 76 and 84, 88 Byers. All of the properties are on one street. We were headed to a rehabilitation renovation of the Newport Terrace Apartments, primarily addressing items that had in our previous renovation years back. We were limited on the windows we could install on the property, and they just did not meet any ability for energy efficiency. We've had them breaking, cracking. I've had problems with them throughout. The updated Secretary of Interior standards on windows allows us to put in a more efficient window, still following historic guidelines. As we were proceeding with that project, we were approached regarding 32 Byers Street, which is the Rainville, the former Hotel Rainville, about purchasing that for a much needed renovation and taking over from the previous owner, which was a nonprofit. So we kind of came to you at two different times for historic, before the Historic Commission, seeking support for historic tax credits. Okay. We have taken those two projects and have decided from an economic standpoint, it makes more sense to kind of do all of the renovation under one project, which is the reason I'm here for tonight, is that we have received historic credits for the Newport. We're still processing the Rainville, but we are going before the CPC Commission for CPA funds for the combined project. So I'm here seeking support from the commission for the CPA funding. We already had your support for historic tax credits.
Okay, all right. So if we've already issued support for historic tax credits, then how long ago was that, James?
I apologize. I believe
Or Alvin?
2017, and I believe the most recent, which was for the new court, and most recently, I believe in January for the Rainville. I've been before you twice, so follow-up letters. Okay. It takes multiple.
So this isn't this, unless we need to reiterate. This isn't relative to whether a historic significance finding. This is just to support the project.
Well, you would need both.
You would need both. So there's not. You'd have to redo that significance finding every time we give them.
Unfortunately.
Okay. Well, no, that's good because I don't think I've ever been chair when we had to go back to one and then had to do the historic significance again. So that's why Alvin keeps me in line. But I don't have any issue with the historic significance whatsoever, and I'm fairly certain no other commissioners do. Am I correct about that?
Yeah.
That is correct.
Good. Well, that'll be an easy motion. And then, so I would entertain motions to find that it's historically significant, and then a second motion relative to sending a letter of support. So who would give me the first motion regarding historic significance?
I recommend we push this forward that addresses that is historically significant.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Okay. Let me just straighten out my paperwork here before you. Just hang on a second before we call that vote.
Mr. Chair, get your paperwork straight, will you?
I'm trying. It's getting away from me here, though.
And don't get any paper cuts.
No. Like I said, I got to live through the meeting. I'd like to try to record the votes in such a manner that Alvin can decipher it after. But this one is.
And we do have two structures here. So there's 32 Byers Street, the Rainville, and then you have 68 through 88 Byers Street, which is the New Court Terrace. Is that correct, Mr. Linfield?
Yeah, and so 4 buildings for the two properties.
Okay. So I'm gonna. But I don't have it broken down. We're having one motion for the. I apologize. You have to give me 2 minutes here to straighten it, just to backtrack a little. So just take a break. Take a second break there. I got a little crooked here. I'm gonna just. Alvin, yeah, I think we got to restate that motion just to include all the 4 addresses. If whoever made the motion could do that for us.
That's fine. That's just for the historical significance. For the project end of it, you guys could do it all under one vote, I believe.
Okay, so you're saying we don't have to? Do we have to
for the
put all 4 of these into the motion? The addresses?
For the historical significance, yes, but
okay.
when you get to the project letter of support, I think you could look at it as one project.
So the motion, let me state what the motion would be to determine that the 32 Byers Street, the Rainville, 6870 Byers Street, New Court Terrace, 76 Byers Street, and 8488 Byers Street are historically significant. So I could get a motion and second on that.
So moved.
Okay, there's a second.
Second.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion? Okay, let me get to the vote. Commissioner Kroll?
Yes.
Commissioner Finn?
Yes.
Commissioner McFarland?
Yes.
Commissioner Nardi,
Yes.
Commissioner Walsh is yes. And then I'd entertain a motion that we send a letter of support for the project.
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion on that motion? Okay, vote. Commissioner Kroll,
Yes.
Commissioner Finn,
Yes.
Commissioner McFarland,
Yes.
Commissioner Nardi,
Yes.
Commissioner Walsh, yes. Okay, that takes care. We good with that one, Alvin?
Yes, we're good.
Thank you. Okay, next is,
Yeah.
you all set? There was somebody, a comment I was missing there? No? Okay, the next one is Springfield Science Museum, 236 State Street, installation of handicap access ramp in addition to patio and exterior facade restoration.
Good evening. Alicia Bono here with the Springfield Museums, and Steve Jablonski, the architect, is also here. We have some slides, if that's appropriate to share or helpful
Absolutely.
to hear.
Absolutely.
So we have two projects we're presenting. Obviously, I guess we'll focus on the Science Museum first.
Okay.
And I think we'll jump into the images. And Steve, if you want to give your explanation of what our hopes are for this project.
Thank you, Alicia. Good evening, commissioners. So this project is to repair and replace the damaged slate surface of the terrace in front of the Science Museum. And we also are going to, a significant component of the design is to do a low sloped walkway that will allow for handicap access to this plaza. And we do have a drawing that we'll show next. But while these pictures are on the screen, in the upper left, you see the limestone balustrade and the existing slate that's severely damaged. In the upper right, you see a facade, the limestone facade of the Science Museum, and you see a door that's approximately 15 years old that was put in when the Welcome Center was originally built. And unfortunately, the door and the stairway out of the door did not stand the test of time because it wasn't galvanized properly. And so anyway, and frankly, the museums, because they located, their original idea was they were going to have a cafe associated with the gift shop. But once they built an independent and differently located cafe, the door and the stairs became obsolete. And because they were a safety hazard, the stairs are actually, you probably can't tell from this picture, but the stairs are removed. So if you look at the bottom right photo, that shows the opposite facade. It's a symmetrical building. And so we're planning on taking out the door and the solid panel above the door and restoring, purchasing a new steel sash window that will match the configuration of the original window exactly. And there's one small piece of limestone that's below the window that it will be reinserted. Also, the bottom left photo is a close-up of one of the original railings that goes along the side of the stair, the circular stairs that are kind of the highlight of the plaza, and the bronze railing is where it's attached to the limestone. It's causing some deterioration, and so that's going to be an in-kind repair of a limestone patch. So so now can we switch to the design concept? So this is a little sketch showing on the top of the drawing the facade, and in the middle of the drawing a layout of pavers, and it also shows the curved sloped walkway. And in the bottom left of this drawing, there's a very schematic cross section through the ramp or the sloped walkway, and that will have two railings, a low railing and a high railing, that will be in compliance with ADA regulations. And the material for the railings will be to match the bronze railings that are original to the building. The material that's proposed for the replacement of the slate is a landscape paver. We're proposing two separate types of landscape pavers, one that's more of a brick proportion, and that'll be placed in a, pardon me, a herringbone pattern. And then if you look closely at the elevation drawing, you'll see that one of the highlights of the building design are these hexagonal reliefs that are placed above the windows. They're approximately 4 feet wide, and they line up with the windows below. And so we're picking up on that, and unfortunately you can't see it super well, but if you look closely, there's a ring of 5 hexagons that circle around the circular stairs. By the way, the plaza is being made handicap accessible, but we've already had a preliminary reading from the building commissioner that the doing this project will not in any way necessitate making the rest of the stairs an accessible entrance, because the rationale is that the Science Museum already has a functioning and well-marked handicap entrance that's the welcome center that faces out to the parking lot, and there's an elevator that connects all the accessible floors. So there's three steps up, approximately 21 inches from the surface of the granite sidewalk to the surface of the Science Plaza. So for people with walking impediments, they will be allowed to go on the curved walkway, and the remainder of the stairs will be kept for people that don't have walking impairments. So just to summarize, to use some of the terms from the Historical Commission, even though we're just asking for a letter of support, we're going to do a in-kind replacement, taking out the kind of asymmetrical door and putting in a new steel sash window, an exact replica of the other windows on the museum, and we're returning the symmetrical design. And then the slate is going to be replaced with pavers at the level of the current slate. And then the newest addition is the Americans with Disabilities Act compliant walkway.
Okay. Any commissioners have any comments or questions?
Great.
Go ahead, Commissioner Finn.
No, I was just saying, I just complimenting the design. I think it looks great.
Okay. Anybody else? Do we need both on this one too, Alvin?
Yes. even though it is located within the Quadriga Mattoon Local Historic District. I mean, the reason for this is because you have some properties, like this particular, I'll just give one example. There's a ranch-style house that was built in the 1970s on Ingersoll Grove and McKnight. Is it within a local historic district? Yes. Is it historically significant? No, it's not.
Okay,
So,
all right. I'm just making sure.
Yep, no problem.
So in this case, I would suggest that it's historically significant, and I would entertain a motion to say so.
So moved.
Is there a second? Okay. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Commissioner Kroll?
Yes.
Commissioner Finn?
Yes.
Commissioner McFarland?
Yes.
Commissioner Nardi?
Yes.
Commissioner Walsh is yes. And I would also entertain a motion for a letter of support for the project.
So moved.
Okay, is there a second?
A second.
Okay, and a second. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, call the vote. Commissioner Kroll?
Yes.
Commissioner Finn?
Yes.
Commissioner McFarland?
Yes.
Commissioner Nardi?
Yes.
And Commissioner Walsh is yes. So, I did notice when I was looking at it, I did notice that you get a ramp up to the plaza, but then nothing else. And I was going to ask, so I'm glad that you clarified that for me.
Thank you. We're going to advance to the next
Go right ahead.
project
Yep.
slide.
Okay, so across the quadrangle is the very similar limestone. By the way, as far as I know, they were both built within months of each other during the Depression era. So we have basically a repair proposal for this building, excuse me. And so that it basically breaks down into 3 separate components of repair. The first is to clean the the exterior limestone facade. As you can see from several of the pictures, there's, particularly from the top cornice, there's some soot and air pollution debris that's, started to wash down over the entire facade. We have a limestone product that's specifically designed for washing limestone buildings, and it's going to be applied with a bristle brush and rinsed with a low pressure wash. So that's the first repair. And the second repair is the steel sash windows. Again, they're almost sister buildings with the Science Museum we were just looking at. They're also called factory sash windows because a lot of large factories had these types of windows installed in them. They were very popular in the 30s and 40s pre-war. In any event, the paint job is in severe need of repair and basically repainting. So again, using the historical commission terminology, that would be an in-kind, painting, repair of the windows. And then the third thing is we do have a close-up on the bottom right of the bottom panel of the custom Art Deco style entry door that is, you can't really tell exactly from this photo, but it's severely rusted. And also there's a bronze threshold below the door that's starting to push up. and it makes for the door to stick and hard for patrons, particularly elderly or handicapped. So what we're proposing there is, again, an in-kind repair. We're going to do what's referred to as a Dutchman repair of cutting out the rusted section at the bottom and welding in a new piece of steel, and then repainting. We're going to not do a Dutchman repair. We're going to replace in its entirety the bronze threshold that's below the entire door. There's two doors, and then there's two side lights flanking the two doors. So the bronze threshold will be replaced in its entirety. Again, that's an in-kind repair / replacement. So that's the scope of what we are envisioning and requesting for a letter of significance first, or confirming significance, and a letter of support for the proposed project.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Any questions or comments by commissioners? Okay, I'd entertain a motion to confirming that it's historically significant.
So moved.
Okay, is there a
Second.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, call the vote. Commissioner Kroll,
Yes.
Commissioner Finn,
Yes.
Commissioner McFarland,
Yes.
Commissioner Nardi,
Yes.
Commissioner Walsh is yes, so that passes. And I'd entertain a motion for the letter of support for the project.
Moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, the vote. Commissioner Kroll,
Yes.
Commissioner Finn,
Yes.
Commissioner McFarland,
Yes.
thank you. Commissioner Nardi,
Yes.
and Commissioner Walsh is yes. Okay,
Thank you so much.
oh, thank you guys. Those are great projects. I hope they can all get done that way.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Okay. Next we have here. All right, the next one is 11779 Central Street. Who's here to speak on that? That's for nomination to the National Register District. Is someone here to speak?
Yes, hi. This is Alyssa Augenstein. I'm speaking on behalf of Wind Development for the properties at 11-79 Central, as well as the adjacent property, the Central.
Okay.
WIN is pursue state and federal historic tax credits to rehabilitate all 33 buildings. They previously state credits in 2000. With MHC, I was told that the state Part 1's nulled, and we had to submit revised area forms for all the properties.
Okay.
So we submitted those forms about a month ago now, in the hopes of submitting our Part 2 applications on April 30th. So I know you all like to get an understanding of what the scope of work is going to be in order to provide the letter of support for the new state applications. I'm not sure if you'll want me to come back to go over what the Part 2s are going to include. We don't yet have a plan set for any of the buildings. But I'm happy to discuss the area forms if you have any questions.
Oh. But this is just for, let me just ask you, what is exactly you're looking for tonight? Because
I guess this is just sort of an introduction to the project and to let you know that we will be requesting letters of support from the commission for the April 30th filing.
Okay.
The scope of work, I'm not sure if any of you are familiar with these buildings.
Yeah, absolutely.
Their houses, okay,
Yeah.
so the scope is going to be pretty typical. We're going to replace windows and doors to meet, all historic guidelines. And the interiors are going to be rehabilitated. So new kitchens, bathrooms, flooring, that sort of thing.
What I'm reading here, it just says, nomination for National Registered District. So.
No, I understand. When I submitted these to Alan, it was, I'm sorry, Alvin, it was more of a preliminary because
okay.
I just wanted to get on the docket and make sure you all know that we're going to, hopefully we'll be requesting the letters of support for the part twos.
Okay, so we don't have enough information to do that right now. Okay, any commissioners have any questions? I mean, you can put her on the next agenda on the next meeting. If you'll have it by April 1st for us?
I don't think we're going to have plans for at least 3 weeks.
Okay. Alvin, do we need to vote on historic significance?
No, not for this. Is not a CPA matter.
Okay.
This is just for letter of support. So.
Just double checking with you.
Yeah. It sounds like this is just informational, just to let you guys
No,
know.
that's good. Well, we need the information, but I also don't want it to happen so that it sneaks up on us and we can't get a letter to them by April 30th. Because that's the 1st and the 15th, I guess, will be the meetings next month. But no, all the information, you bring whatever information when you can get it to us, and it certainly sounds like we'd be able to issue, subject to a motion and a vote. I don't see any reason why we wouldn't be supporting a project for the, any preservation or restoration or whatever of the exterior of those buildings.
Okay, and so then that was actually my next question. You just want to see exterior elevations?
Yeah, well, what happens inside isn't our purview.
Okay.
Yeah.
Understood.
And are you speaking for the Main Street buildings as well?
I am, yes.
Okay, so it's the same for that too?
It is, yes.
Okay.
And Lauren Campari is here on behalf of Wind Development.
Go ahead, Lauren, if you'd like to add anything, please do.
Hi, everybody. No, I think Alyssa covered it. We're just excited to rehab these buildings and get even better housing for Springfield.
Excellent. Okay, well, we look forward to seeing the details and I look forward to supporting the projects.
Great.
All right.
Yep.
Okay, thank you guys. Is there any other matter properly before the commission? Hearing none. Any commissioners, any comments, any questions? I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Commissioner Walsh.
Yes.
Did you want to stay on with Attorney Shuchuk just to ask a question in regards to the 34 Sumner Avenue?
Yes.
Okay.
That'd be fine. We can talk about it right now with everybody on board, just so they'll know why I asked the question. We got there was a question of whether it was in our purview or not, and so I read through. I was given information that allowed me to kind of read through, and it certainly sounds like it is.
Yeah.
But it's, some things are open to interpretation, and I just wanted to be on the record asking for, the guidance, because I didn't want it to come back after and say,
No, I gotcha.
If they were going to argue it wasn't in our purview, I put it right on the table for us tonight so that we could deal with it up front.
Gotcha. We'll do.
So, your opinion is such that it's in our purview.
We'll do. I'll get that opinion to you ASAP.
Okay, that's all. Just to cover both sides, because if you found it wasn't, then it becomes a whole different issue, and it's not ours.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what I think. I think it is, but if you think it isn't, then it's changes everything. Yeah. And I just thought it was prudent to put it in the record that way. Okay. Anybody else?
So in the Forest Park Heights neighborhood guidelines, it states that driveways fall under the category of non-applicability. So it's just a question of, are additional parking spaces, is that something separate of a driveway?
Gotcha.
So, I mean, there are, when I read it, my initial thought was really, while we might want to control it, that we don't.
Yeah.
And then I read some more, and so it was made me think, yeah, maybe in this case, maybe we do. So if you could just review that, we'd love to have your opinion.
I will do.
And anything else, Alvin? What else did I miss?
Nope, we got everything.
We got everything?
Got everything.
Okay. All right, guys, I entertain that motion to adjourn.
So moved, so moved.
Second,
All right.
thirded.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
We're
Aye,
good.
aye.
Thank you, guys.
Good night.
Yes.
Or-